Alright, so I'm not going to tear that down just yet. I want to wait because during the week I want to go over and see what had fallen throughout the course of the winter so I know what I can use and what I need to rebuild that. When I say that, let me zoom in here and see what I'm talking about. So I took all the top off, all the crap off the top that I was hoping that some vines would grow through. Actually the main, where am I? Hello finger. The main carriers that go that way are actually all pretty good. However, the top ones, the ones that have the dirt on them, I noticed some of those are a little rough. So what I'm going to do is take a peek. I'll lift a couple of them off and see what's there, and then I'll go over yonder to see what has fallen or anything that looks like it's not going to make it or standing dead, and pull some of those over and see what I can do about rebuilding that. Because they do use it, and don't you think as I'm getting ready to tear it down they're all up there? So if you know what, let me leave it there until I know for sure that I have everything I need to build another one for them. Anyway, so much for that. Now, like I said, I do not like a messy yard. I'm not a real picky Rooney, but however, this drives me nuts. That's why when I get these good days, you know, I call it an early spring, I start doing whatever I can. I can always find something to do. You know, last week, I ripped apart the whole bedroom, the master bedroom, and because I had to put the new bed in anyway, so I just ripped everything apart. I did all the windows inside and out, dusted all the windowsills, the casings, all the furniture, the safes, checked all the wiring, you know, where the cable was running up to the TV, and went through the whole thing, washed and waxed the floors, and they're all hardwood floors. We can't sand them and really polish them because the boys, one, will slip and slide and only end up ruining them again anyway. So what I do is I clean them good, and then I put a little of that liquid gold oil on them just to keep them oiled. So, but anyway, let me get the zoom out. And if you remember right, the generator was there, and this portion was all the way out to there and then over, and then it had that little shed there. So now during the week I'm going to rip all that out because I want to see what the actual foundation looks like up against this garage, so I have an idea what it looks like. If the foundation looks good, I am just going to build a little platform there with a little ramp so I can run the generator up into the shop, you know, into its little lean-to, its enclosure. I may have a little landing there just in case I got to pull it out to do a little work on it or something, or just make it so that the front of the lean tool is hinged so I can just open it up and work on it from there. So, but and that's it. Now if the foundation doesn't look too good, because again I don't know, it's a garage, so I don't know what he actually did when he built it. What I'll do is I will take a bunch of these cylinders and I will make a retaining wall about the height that it is now. And I will do it using mortar mix so that I know they're going to stay, and then I'll backfill it, and then I'll just put my little generator shack on top of all that. That's all. So, alright, so we got it pretty well set up. Like I say, it's a little muddy still, so I don't want to track it around too much. I gotta get that piece of carpet off of there because I got all those cylinders. There's cylinders in that pile of dirt there, and then I got all those cylinders over here. This pile of dirt. Well, it's more cylinders than it is dirt, but I got to pick through it all. So what I'll end up doing is stacking all the cylinders so I know just how many we have. I'll stack those, clean that pile up. I'll take those, drag them over here, stack those over here, and we'll be all set. Now that drum, that may be another heat exchanger, so to speak. I got to see what I'm going to do with that. First I got to definitely make sure that we're going to be staying here. And it looks like we are. However, we may be possibly getting something in Florida just to have it in case we decide to go. So that's what we're thinking about. And at least I can still be a resident of Florida too, so because that's important to me. So anyway, that's where we're at, guys. But like I say, I am not used to the yard looking like this. And if you looked at the past ones in the summertime, you'll know that I try to keep a neat yard. So, and like I say, that shed may come down this year. I'm not positive. The sink that's over there is actually the sink that goes in here. However, I don't know. I may just make it an outdoor sink because it's only used in the summertime anyway. So do I really need it if it's near here? You know what I mean? I don't do that much with it. So it's just more or less there for me to wash my hands, you know, or wash out a brush or something. You know, it's just a real basic light gray water. It's nothing, you know, I'm not washing dishes and you know, garbage, and there's no, you know, paint thinners or anything like that going down there. Oil is just basic hand, and sometimes rinse out a coffee pot or something. So I don't know. I gotta see what happens. I mean, for the most part, I really don't need water out here, but I like to have it. And that's about it. So that's where we're at today. It's going on 4 o'clock, so I'm gonna call it a day. Well, it was when I looked, it was going on 50. It was 49.5 again, and it's not stuck there because it does go down. And the last time I looked at it, it was up to 53 or 54. I don't know what it is now. 50. So it's 50 now. So, all right. So it's starting to drop a little bit. So other than that, I got the solar panel in here. This solar panel and that little 10 amp regulator charger is what I use to maintain the battery. Let me show you, because if you guys remember right, I had done a video on some time ago on the gen set when I had to change the battery in it, because the little gel cell type battery, if you, whatever you want to call it, it's one of those little flat jobbers, was sealed up behind here, laying flatwise with a heat guard underneath it, and the battery was just shot. The first year it was shot. So in order for me to get to it, I had to take the side panels off, I had to lift the tank off. I mean, it was a nightmare. So I said, I'm never going to go through that again. Plus, a lot of the wiring was very, very thin. So, for instance, over here, let me get this banana plug out of the way. This little charger right here, I got the charger in there. The wire that went from this to that little battery that was in there was like 24 gauge. I mean, it was like human hair size. So you put the charger on it, it would take all day naturally, but that's what it was made for. But if I had to ever jump start it, it would never work through that wire. So I rewired that and made that a 14 gauge. Then I ran 10 gauge and I added the banana plugs. Now these go right to the battery, as you can see. So that's jumped up in size. This is also to the battery, and naturally off rounded to the starter. And then what I did was I made a battery box, right, out of stainless. This is actually 2 plates of stainless steel. I bent them, welded them together, put them on a bottom plate. Then I welded the plate to that, made a little Kydex cover, and there's a motorcycle battery in here now, because the other one was like half the size of that. It was one of those sealed batteries, you know what I'm talking about. So I put a motorcycle battery in here only because it's going to take the vibration. So I wanted to make sure that it was going to be capable of taking that vibration. So now, these do not charge when they're running. There's no charging system on them. We always rely on that. So what I had done was, when I had the shed over there, and I'm going to do it again once I build a new little shack for this thing, that little 35 amp solar panel that was in there, I had that running on the roof through the regulator charger, and then plugged into here the banana plugs. so that it always maintain a charge on this battery. So when I go out there to start it, I don't have to worry about it. Now, I already had this running the other day when I tried doing the other one, the smaller one, so you've seen that one running. But this one actually handles the whole house, which is nice. So now I'm not sure, but I may have a chance of getting another one just like this. Brand new. It may have 3 hours on it. Really, really cheap. It's a long story, however, I'll make it short.